Anyway, we were walking along and we were having these really goofy conversations. We were really indulging each other and having very abstract thoughts and articulating them. And it was good. And I came up with this statement, I want more youth, or I want youth, but I can't for the things that I've done. It was clear in my head what it meant, but as we rolled the statement around between the two of us and we articulated, it became apparent that what was meant was anything you do, you pay a cost, you pay a price for that, and the cost is the time that it took you to do that thing. So it's almost like for the crime of existing, the punishment is the time that it took you to exist, because you can never get it back. That time is gone to you, it's lost to you, and that's almost like a price that you pay. It would be nice to get time back occasionally. And my mate says, you know what we should do in this instance is we should walk backwards to the car, and then maybe we get the time that it took us to walk this far back. And as soon as he said it, I says, yeah, absolutely, because on the one hand it was like an affirmation that he got exactly what I was saying, and on the other hand it was just a goofy fun thing to do. So we took off, and we were walking along backwards laughing, and then we started jogging. It started to get a little bit competitive, and that made us laugh even more, and I could really feel it, whether that's your kidneys or whatever, in my back muscles there. I could really feel it probably from the jogging backwards and the laughing. So at one stage I was doubled over laughing, stopped, and he was stopped as well, laughing. And but I said it in my mind to myself, right, I'm going to get it together now, and I'm going to sprint back to the car and get some distance ahead of him. And without any warning I did. I shot off, as fast as I could go, but not too fast because I was going backwards, obviously. But as soon as I did, he was right on it as well. He suppressed his laughter and took off. It's one of these things where if it had been a sincere thing, I don't think I could have tried as hard, but because it was a ridiculous thing, I was trying my absolute damnedest. And I made it back to the car, a good stretch ahead of him. It was probably a bit dangerous. The last stretch was downhill and we were going backwards. And I was having to wheel my head round to see the car, but I desperately didn't want to turn my shoulders or my hips around, because in my mind that would have blown it for me. At this point I was thinking the person who gets there first will get their time back, and the guy who's second will have to do his time and possibly accrue the time of the victor, of the person who won. So I made it back to the car, and I still going backwards, fished the keys out of my pocket, beeped the locks, got in the car. You're still going backwards when you sit into a car, kind of like that's how you sit into the driver's seat. But I didn't feel any relief immediately. I felt an urgency to get him to turn around. He was still jogging back, still running backwards. That's trying really hard. So I turned the engine over, revved the engine, and made as if to go off, and it worked. And he turned around. The second he turned around, I felt this kind of palpable relief that the weight had come off me and gone onto him. It was almost that I couldn't feel like I'd gotten away with it unless I put the weight of my time onto his shoulders. And his head was wrecked, obviously it was all light-hearted, but you could see that his head was wrecked, and it would have to have been, because for both of us to engage in something competitive like that, there had to be something at stake. There had to be something to be gained in being first, and something to be lost in being second. And for us to have done that in the context of what we just talked about, it was implicit that he had gained. He had to do his time now, and my time. And it was weird because we engaged in this activity where there was literally no turning back.